Ah, recording in progress. For the first time, by the way, I was on another Zoom and they asked me to record, and I was hosting it from here. This was just this last weekend, and then this is to the Philippines. They asked me, oh, can I have the recording? Then I'm trying to find where is the recording we did on the telephone. And then I looked on the web how to do. And then I was surprised to find with the recording, there was artificial intelligence summary of, well, full transcript and like the points of action and in perfect English and actually accurate from the talk. It was surprising to me to see. And so it's just one thing, as I notice you say, it's recording. And it gives you all sorts of tips about how many ums and ahs you make and the speed of your speaking. My goodness, will become artificial intelligence too. But I thought it was interesting that it did give an accurate kind of, okay, points of action to do afterwards, in the sense of it was listening and it caught, okay, we should revise this, research this, do our homework, as we tend to say. So well done, AI, you did a good job there. It's the first time I've ever seen it actually in action like that. Surprised. All right, dear devotees, as we've come together and with Paramananda looking a little chilly like we are, Paramananda in a car somewhere in a forest, so I can guess what he's been doing out and about in Japan. All right, and Vrindavana Sri Devi Rasi, Anu Krishna, all the way there, over there in Brazil. So one side of the world, our devotees, another side of the world, our devotees. And as Srila Guru Maharaj said, and in a remote corner of the planet, remote corner of the world, Bhima Krishna Prabhu, California, or Oregon, one of the two, that far west side of America. Guru Maharaj said, so you are going to Goswami Maharaj. You know this, I think. He said, so you are going to a remote corner of the world to spread the message of Mahaprabhu. So wherever we are, we think it's the center of the world, wherever, I mean, really wherever we are. And unfortunately, in our bodies, where we are in our bodies, we tend to think that's the center of the world. Too, we are the center of the world. Oh dear. All right, dear devotees, we've more or less come together and we are here live on Zoom and on Facebook, and with the devotees who are watching the recorded version too. Our obeisances to you all. So first of all, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And let us begin with our mini Vandanam, because it's good for us. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitanscha. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvije Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And Ganga Leela Devi Rasi sent her sent her good wishes to us with Happy New Year. Happy New Year, indeed. But yes, Happy New Year. And some of our current recent quotes have included, why have we separated ourselves from happiness and health and happiness? Only because of not properly putting the Lord at the center. Otherwise, we'd be there in the happy, healthy land. But we will be there. Hare Krishna. Confidence in the Lord's protection, embracing the Lord's guardianship. All these things which aren't they, very familiar to everyone. Anukulyasya sankalpaha, acceptance of the favorable. And then pratikulya vivajanam, rejection of the unfavorable. Rakshishyatiti vishvashaha, full confidence in the Lord's protection. Koptrite varanam, embracing the Lord's guardianship. Atma nikshepa, full self-surrender. And karpanyam, surrender in humility. Hare Krishna, the 6 limbs of surrender, which you all know, don't you? Yes, okay, I knew it. All right, well, Happy New Year. And on the theme of the New Year, we really have been, well, I was surprised in Italy, first of all, how much they celebrate New Year with, everybody, well, except some bodies like ourselves, staying up until midnight, all kinds of festivities. And I mean, I don't know how many fireworks, but unusually very noisy night, and with big fireworks privately and like public displays of fireworks. And very much a time for people coming together. And devotees came here together the evening before and brought lots of like goodies and snacks and all sorts of things, and bottles of non-alcoholic, of course, special wines and whatever it was that they brought. And anyhow, devotees came together here, and we had a very happy, noisy evening. But our 12 o'clock, we can think we were celebrating midnight in somewhere a little bit further east, because only when it became midnight, then we heard all the fireworks. But it's a time to reflect. Of course, as it turns out, it's a time to reflect. And this year, it was a time to reflect of 25 years. Now 2025, a quarter of the century is gone. And actually racing towards the next century, the 22nd century. Now we're in the 21st century. So also a time to reflect in many ways. And so we've been thinking about not only the 1 year of a new year, but of the 25 years into the year 20,000. 15 years will be since Srila Gurudev disappeared from the world. And the overview, not only of the year, but the overview of Krishna consciousness from nothing in the West to its maturity. For those who can see, if we can see that maturity of Krishna consciousness as it's been distributed, practiced, and protected and nourished by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Gurudev. We say in that order because that's how, in the Western world it came to be. Though we know it is all the will of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And we know too it is Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev who's prepared by Srila Guru Maharaj. So the root of the distribution is Srila Bhakti, actually Bhakti Vinod Thakur is the seed of the whole idea that from the West, it won't be long until from the Western world the people will come to join with the locals in the Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu, chanting with the local devotees. So from that seed, then we've got this evolving of Krishna consciousness abroad. Govinda, I'm here. And now we need to, as always, see where we are and go forwards. Sometimes in our lives, we know always in lives of our own lives and others' lives, we're thinking about, oh, what's happened in the past to put us in an unfortunate position. But now, wherever we are, we don't have to think about the past. We're in the situation, whatever the situation is we're in, at this moment. So at this moment, then we need to set our map, compass, all the directions so we go in the right direction. So it is always good to have some reflection. But in Bengal, there are many New Years. There's the Bengali New Year. There's another Hindi New Year, perhaps, a Hindu New Year. There's the Gaurabda, the New Year of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And then there is the Urdu, is it? New Year, perhaps. Then our means the generally Western world's New Year of the 1st of January. And what other New Years? We always feel like the Vyasa Puja of Gurudev is like a New Year. Vyasa Puja of Guru Maharaj feels like a New Year too. So there are many times to reflect on our journey. So a few thoughts from me to start. And we do have the full attention of Paramanand Guru. Sometimes he's busily somewhere. Today may be busy. He's always busy, but he's taken time out to park the car. And Paramanand Guru, can we invite you to say a few words? Oh, Ganga Leela. Thank you very much. Oh, and Chinese New Year. Yes, Chinese New Year. All these times to think about the year, but in it being 2025 is shocking, actually, to some of us, that it is so late. The year 2000, that seemed far in the future. And when we were young, we read George Orwell's science fiction called 1984. So to him, 1984 was far in the distance, and so it was for us when we were young teenager, 1984. So now 1984 passed, 2000 passed, 2025 hasn't passed, it's here. But the point is that all these years are going to pass, and we are just here as a passing show to each of us. And so the great souls that have lived in the past, and everyone who's lived in the past, they've all thought that the next century is going to be far into the future. Those who lived in the 10th century, 11th century, 12th century. So it's all a point on a line on a plane, plane on a solid. Yes, Paramananda Prabhu, over to you. Hare Krishna.
Dandavad. Happy New Year to everyone. I really don't know what to say, but your talk reminded me about our temple president in 1991 telling us on this day, on a New Year's Day, I wonder where are we going to be in 5 years from now? And at that time, it felt like a yuga. Really, I couldn't imagine. The 5 years was so far, far away. But now, how many years passed? 20, 30, 34, if I'm not mistaken, from that moment.
Yes.
And really, it feels like a moment, because I can clearly remember what what was then. And anyhow, I don't know what happened to our temple president. Maybe he's still around. He was probably by a few years older than us at that time, but we thought he's very old because we were just 15, 16. Maybe he was in his 20s. Anyway, we can say Happy New Year. I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but perhaps we have more rights to say Happy New Year. In fact, all of our years, all of our New Years and all years were happy in relation to the connection we got. And the years that are going to come will also be happy if we're maintaining that connection. That's where the real happiness is. When you're connected with Krishna, when you're connected with the Lord, then you're feeling happy naturally. You're not trying to cheat yourself by saying Happy New Year, and you're like, oh my God, what's going to come? Then you open the news, and there's not a single good news. I know Maharaj never checks the news, but I do. Like, really, there's not a single good, I mean, for God's sake, just for the sake of a new year, just put a single, for like a Christmas at least, put a single good news in there. Nope, never happens. Somebody died, somebody crashed, some political nonsense going on, there's a crisis here, there's a crisis there. I mean, really, that's that's the situation. Okay, yeah, Happy New Year, mate. And then the mate is thinking, oh, I don't think he's going to be happy. But we can say, yes, Happy New Year, happily. And what we used to do on the New Year's, it had nothing to do with, nothing to do with philosophy or us, but I just remember my happy life as a simple brahmachari, just like Jai Gauranga there on the background. So on that day, our temple seniors thought that we shouldn't relax so much. And we had this pile of, not even the wood, like a whole trunks of trees piled up in one corner of our temple garden. And then they will tell us, let's move this whole pile to another corner. And that's what we'll be doing for the whole day. And then the next year, he will say, let's move it back. And then it just went back and forth, back and forth. When we asked him during the Ishtagoshi, I mean, what is the point in doing that? And he said, well, you should start a new year from a substantial service engagement. And I think this is good. Your mind is engaged, your muscles are engaged. That's why I ask you, move that pile on that very particular day. That was his view of taking care of the young brahmacharis, keeping them busy. No complaints, very happy to do that. But we also had our Banya day in the evening, which was later, unfortunately, disassembled because of the close proximity of our ladies' ashram. We didn't invite them, they came, really. And the whole lady ashram, no offense to the ladies, caused the closure of the brahmachari ashram like in the year. Whatever we heard from Srila Prabhupada, we actually witnessed that. Anyhow, we all escaped and we went to different smaller ashrams. We called them Sankirtan ashrams because the main engagement was preaching and book distribution, and lived happily ever after. Almost ever after. Anyhow, Maharaj, what can I say? Just praying for more seva to come. This is my usual prayer. I don't know what, I'm not very well versed in devotional poetry. So when I'm in front of the deities and in front of Govinda Maharaj, then I'm just asking you, please use me the way you like for the service of your devotees. That's my only prayer. And I think it's very appropriate for the new year. That's a good new year wish to make because everybody is making the new year wishes. And there are different ways to do that. But yes, that's a good one. And it always gets fulfilled somehow. You like it or not, sometimes you wish, oh, I shouldn't have wished that. Really. It could be quite overwhelming, but Krishna is very merciful. He's giving extra. He's not just fulfilling your miserly wish. You're thinking, oh, maybe just a little bit. No, he can give you extra on top. He's very generous. So that kind of wish I'm wishing to everybody.
Good wishes for the new year.
Good wishes.
And I have a one sentence quote, and I'll put it in the box, chat box, and click. And some of you have heard this before. I know, I've heard it before too. But Srila Guru Maharaj saying, adjustment is life. Even those three words, if we remember, it is very good for us. Adjustment is life. It is liberated life. And to be the prey of maladjustment is to approach pain and misery. So we can also say, in a Vaishnava way, that we wish you a fully adjusted 2025, because that will bring the exact opposite of pain and misery. It will bring all good things, as Srila Gurudev does go on to say in that quote. But that's a little reminder quote, and when we are wishing happiness, we are wishing proper happiness, not just relief from the temporary things, knowing that the cycle is coming around and around. We have our home, let's go home. And yes, Sevarupa Virasi, thank you for reminding us, on this side of the world, or with this side of the timeline of the world, it's already the disappearance day of Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu and the disappearance of Sri Jagadish Pandit. So there we've got some remembrance of, we are thinking about 2025 in terms of the world, the Western world receiving Krishna consciousness, looking back over how Krishna consciousness has come, and then its evolution in the West from the first introduction by Srila Prabhupada to the hippies in New York, in the Bowery, which apparently was quite a low-end area of New York at that time. From that to the most dignified presentation and practices as given by Srila Prabhupada, as developed from there by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Gurudev. So we've been thinking about the evolution in the West of Krishna consciousness to 2025. But the evolution of Krishna consciousness from Mahaprabhu, how that has been spread and solidified, then we cannot but remember and honor Srila Jiva Goswami, who gave support to Rupa Goswami's writings and to Sanatana Goswami's writings, and showed how what they've given as statements, that those statements, how it is not whimsical, but there is solid scriptural fact behind it. And so Jiva Goswami, it is told, somebody counted the verses somewhere along the way, over 400,000 Sanskrit verses in support of the teachings of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, which means in support of the teachings of Mahaprabhu. And so gave a vast library for making the foundation of Krishna consciousness, to prove that it is absolutely solid. And so it's Srila Jiva Goswami's disappearance day today. Again, we've been thinking about disappearances because our masters have disappeared from the world. And today also now thinking about Jiva Goswami's disappearance and Jagadish Pandit's disappearance. And for Jagadish Pandit, here in the link on the Matt's website, saying that Srila Bhakti, so this is a purport. Or let me first of all read the verse. It's Adi Leela chapter 11 and well, Jagadisha Pandit. So it's Adi Leela chapter 11, text 30. And the verse is Jagadisha Pandita Hoyer Jagat Pavana Krishna Prema Mrita Varshe Jaina Varsha Ghana. Varsha is rainfall, as we know. So Jagadish Pandit, another branch of the Lord Nityananda's followers, was the deliverer of the entire world. There we are. Devotional love of Krishna showered from him like torrents of rain. And then there's a purport for Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And the purport is a short purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, his commentary on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he writes, and by the way, the rest of this is entirely the translation, as Srila Prabhupada has given, of what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has written. So he writes, descriptions of Jagadish Pandit are available from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Kanda chapter 6, and the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela chapter 14. He belonged to the village of Jashadagram in the district of Nadia, near the Chakada railway station. His father, the son of Bhattanarayan, was named Kamalaksha. Both his father and mother were great devotees of Lord Vishnu, and after their death, Jagadish, with his wife Dukini and brother Mahesha, left his birthplace and came to Sri Mayapur to live in the company of Jagannath Mishra and other Vaishnavas. Lord Chaitanya asked Jagadish to go to Jagannath Puri to preach the Harinam Sankirtan movement. After returning from Jagannath Puri, on the order of Lord Jagannath, he established deities of Jagannath in the village of Jashadagram. It is said that when Jagadish Pandit brought the deity of Jagannath to Jashadagram, he tied the heavy deity to a stick and thus brought him to the village. The priests of the temple still show the stick used by Jagadish Pandit to carry the Jagannath deity. There are lots of achintya, inconceivable things in Krishna consciousness. Not only the time of Krishna, when Krishna lifted Govardhan hill with one finger, not only one finger, the weakest finger, the little finger of the left hand, but in the present time, right up to the present time, you see just so recently, many wonderful things happened, in miraculous things, in the sense of miracles. Miracles happened in the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. Looking at the screen and happy to have the devotees on Facebook with us and being able to see also the devotees on Facebook. Our obeisances to each of you, because I do have the luxury of 2 different internet connections. So we're able to see this week. And here we've got Abhinava Sundar and Kelly Kadamba Devidasi from Australia joined us. They're looking very inquisitively at the screen. Am I wearing tilak? Yes, okay. Maybe they'll... We do forget sometimes. And sometimes it happens, we get called or something and then miss the Tulsi part at the bottom until somebody points out, oh, why have you only got this? Oh, okay. All right. Any question from anybody? This is Zoom. We are interactive. At least by heart, I hope. Hare Krishna. Any question you want me to ask? Okay. Abhinava, I'm not going to put Kelly on the spot. I'm going to put Abhinava Sundarpu on the spot. And now he's going to say, oh, knew I should have gone on Facebook. Then I wouldn't be asked anything. Abhinava Sundarpu, you're there in Australia. You have a whole world of devotees in Australia, left, right, up, down. But the whole of the population of Australia almost entirely is on that east coast. So it may seem sparsely populated, Australia, but that's because most of it isn't. But you do have a lot of devotees in Murwillumbah and that district.
Yes, Lord. So then,
Oh, you're very muffled, Abhinava Sundarprabhu. Your microphone's covered, perhaps.
can you hear? Can you hear or not? It's not here.
Very, very poor. Maybe you've got the Bluetooth on and you're sitting on the headphones or something.
Yeah, just turned it off. Maybe now.
Oh, that's good now. Yes.
Yeah, but you're crackly.
Oh, I am. I'm sorry. Yes, Abhinav and Kelly. A couple of words from you from down under, from Australia there.
Well, Marge, we had our New Year's Day celebration yesterday, of course, because we're ahead of most of the world in some way. But it was very nice, small family gathering at Sri Govindadam. Yeah, the usual suspects, the usual activities, hearing, chanting, feasting. Sanjay and Mum to turn up as well.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
Because they've moved to the Gold Coast in the last year or two, so they can come to the temple a bit more now. So that's the news from yesterday.
And Anadi was recounting sort of like the miracles and what it was like having Srila Gurudev present at the installation, because it's the installation festival.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I neglected to say that. That's the point. For us, New Year's Day is always a festival day because that was the day that Mahaprabhu was installed in 1997. So then it's always a remembrance of the installation day, of Gurudev being there. You weren't there, were you, Maharaj?
I was there.
Oh, you were? Okay. There we go. Maybe we were not, so that's why we didn't know if you were there or not. I remember if you were there on an earlier tour or that tour.
It was that tour. Srila Gurudev, quite, well, by surprise, many things are by surprise, but Gurudev, maybe 2 weeks before he was going, he sent myself and Purnananda. He said, you go there to help, because Gurudev was receiving many telephone calls every day, how to do this, what to do. And so Gurudev considered that maybe between us, Purnananda Prabhu and myself, maybe we could help be the man on the spot or the men on the spot to help get things organized, because we've seen many festivals and seen different programs before. So Gurudev sent us to give a little assistance. So myself and Purnananda went 2 weeks before, approximately, and we were there very happily to welcome Gurudev, and then, of course, to participate. Well, not of course, because it could easily be, okay, now everything started, go home. But he didn't. Gurudev had to stay there, and not only stay. When he went on from Australia, he went perhaps to America from Australia, and then he said, and you stay here a few days, be with the devotees, and then go back to Navadip. So it was a few days after that, and the devotees were very kind, looked after us for a few days. I mean, I think like 4 days or something, and then came back to Navadip, Chaitanya Saraswati.
Anadi Prabhu was recalling the building of the temple and just so many stories, but he was talking about how so many things were miraculous, and he felt that if he was to do that doesn't think that he could, like with his own capacity. He was saying that he's sure it was by the will and the grace of Srila Gurudev that he was able to do this, and with one hand. And it reminded me recently, Paramananda Prabhu in Thailand was saying that Gurudev had said, well, I don't think this is, but anyway, he said, just saying that he used his disciples, anyone that's accomplished some glorious seva, it's by Gurudev's will, his mercy. And anyway, Nadi was sharing that, which was really nice, that he acknowledges that it was something beyond his own capacity to do, but he tried and Gurudev allowed it to manifest. So that was really nice to hear from him yesterday.
Jai. And it was an amazing, you could say, historic time where Srila Gurudev oversaw the whole of the installation program, and so many ingredients, like the devotees really put their heart and soul into the preparations, you could say the traditional preparations for the installation of the deity. And Srila Gurudev oversaw everything, and grand kirtan, that hall that Anadi Prabhu headed, he headed the team and was the principal manifesta builder. Of course, as you point out, Srila Gurudev was the principal builder who made it all manifest. But that hall is so suitable for kirtan, the sound, and it has good sound in there. It's not that if you talk in there, then your voice echoes or it gets flattened out, but it's turned out to be very well for speaking and for kirtan. And the kirtans that took place at that time, really impressive kirtans, which we can think to the akash, to the tree jagat, right to the sky and to the three worlds. Then that Hari Dwani, the glorification of the Lord, was being planted and spread. And purpose-built, I mean, only built as a devotional place. It's not converted from somewhere. And hence, it's got the quarters for Srila Gurudev at the back and his associates, his private, or his private place where he can meet devotees with armchairs and sitting places and carpet at the back behind the temple. And then in front of, then the temple means where the deity is. And then in front of the temple, a big hall, all made of wood. And then behind that, a big kitchen. And then the large, deep veranda so that the devotees can honor prasadam and are seated in rows on the veranda. Very suitable. And Anadi Krishna, for those who don't know, he was born with one good hand and one hand with only a little bit of, it's like two parts of fingers, a little bit. You could say it's a deformed hand, but with that 1.5 hands, you can say, he did the lion's share of that construction. It's amazing.
Yeah. Him and Premadas.
And Premadas Prabhu, Jai Premadas. And other devotees. It's not only one devotee, it's always a teamwork, but we give some special mention to the head of the team. And any plans then during that remembrance? What will happen in 2025? You're going to have an Australian International Festival.
Every day is a festival, Maharaj. As you
You're going to have 365 festivals. Well done.
But if you're planting the seed, then
Oh, I'm planting a question.
Well, Paramananda is always thinking one day he could come to Australia. If you came to Australia, Maharaj, then maybe he would get some savor opportunity and necessity to come to Australia also.
Oh, well, we'll have to see about that, won't we?
He's not going to come and see us.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, just one little other thing that Anadi Prabhu shared about like Gurudev at that time, like when before the temple was manifest and Gurudev was visiting the property, they'd acquired the property, and he walked around and marked out the temple, and he put sticks in the ground at the four corners of the temple. And Anadi Prabhu was saying that usually, you mark out these things and then you have to keep on adjusting like the corners to make sure that they're square. And it's quite a process of fine tuning. And he said they did that, and they did it a couple of times to check, but it wasn't even a millimeter out. Gurudev had just walked and he saw it and just planted where the temple would be. And
yeah, see, and poor Leela Moy had to suffer me doing that in Thailand, trying to get it square. Him and Jai Garanga, no, go over there, stand there, no, move there, no. Took like hours. I was
with tape measures.
With tape measures and.
Hare Krishna.
We don't know if it's. We think it's close. I'm sure it's not within a millimeter.
Hare Krishna.
Hopefully Paramananda has some good builders that can actually make sure it's square.
I think Paramananda has got more things he can say, though, after hearing from you.
He's pretending to be frozen. Oh, here we go.
Yes. We have good builders, so no worries about it. And yes, it's not perfectly square, but it's close. We're not to imitate great personalities. We could never do it the way Gurudev did it, but it happened under his direction. There's no doubt about it, which was witnessed and expressed by the devotees present. And why I'm not going to Australia? If I go to Australia, then you will not come to Thailand.
Yeah.
This is the situation. And Maharaj is coming to Thailand anyway. Here you go. In fact, it's good to move from Australia to Thailand. At least half a year in Thailand, half a year in Australia. Or 8 months in Thailand and 4 months in Australia. So that is my plan.
Yeah, we need to talk.
But are you going to be in Australia for any of those 4 months?
Well, I will have some service engagements. Urgent service engagements.
Just see, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see so much debating sometimes between devotees, negotiating for different seva duties. When Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri, they're all wanting to extend invitations when he's traveling, wherever he goes. So now we are also witness to some debating and settlement of association. Hare Krishna.
We will have a discussion later, extended discussion with another usual suspect who is.
But we do know, we do know that Paramananda's discussion in public is also for the good devotees, you, each of you, the Thailand, that temple, the seva, that is taking place and which will grow there. That this is for all the good devotees to have a place to come, to serve.
And the bad devotees, it seems, Maharaj.
And the bad devotees too.
And actually, Kelly brought that up, which is a very good point. Good to remember for us, because at times we do something relatively big or grand, at least that's what we think. We did something great. And we may start thinking that we're actually qualified to do that. We're not by ourselves. Really, we're not. But they can extract whatever good we have in us and engage it properly. Just like when you want to use money properly, there is only one person in the world who can use money properly, and that will be a sadhu, a devotee of Krishna. You give him money, he will use it properly. For sure, it's guaranteed. So in a similar way, us, our talents, our capacity, our energy can be used properly only by them and only under their direction. And that's what Govinda Maharaj expressed. And he said, you're fortunate because of that. I used all of you in many different ways, engaging everyone according to their capacity in service of Guru Maharaj. And that is your good fortune. That was his expression. It's good to remember, because at time we may hear some bragging, we can say, but really we have to remember that it's only all our good fortune is coming from them. Whatever good in our life that happened or will happen is by their grace. And that good is actually, that service connection is the precious gift that we receive from them. It's nice to treasure it and keep it alive, keep it going, keep the fire burning. That's the point Govinda Maharaj was making.
Keep flying, as Srila Guru Maharaj said, to maintain our Krishna consciousness wherever we are, to maintain. That should not be underestimated, that it is very valuable to do that. We sometimes read about all the high topics and things, and we know we're not there, and we know that it's a long way to go, but to maintain our present position has its particular value. But at the same time, Guru Maharaj says, but to step forward when that opportunity comes. We must always try to take the good opportunities, the service opportunities, and always try to progress, but to maintain, that is also very valuable. Hare Krishna. The bird flying. The bird has to keep flapping his wings to keep going forward. This example. One example.
And I did, maybe someone else has something, but I thought, because we were reading about Jiva Goswami, thinking I better be prepared just in case.
Oh, good. Please do
but
so.
Maybe somebody else has something there already, because now we've already been, taking up time.
Kelly, please, you've got something prepared, you've done some homework, and now the artificial intelligence of Zoom is going to be very proud of you. It'll put there in the accomplishments. Kelly Kadamba did her homework, and she said, what did she say?
Let's just see if I can find it now easily.
Anyway, you can remember, surely.
Well, no, I wanted to read because I was reading from Srila Gurudev in Prema Dharma, and there's Gurudev gave a really beautiful talk, but then he, in summary, said something just really nice about Jiva Goswami. I'll just see. Oh, maybe this is it here.
Well, you did your homework, but then you left your homework.
The dog ate it.
It was quite long, but then Gurudev is saying, the foremost aspect of Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu's pastimes that naturally appears before our eyes is his protection of the proper conception of loving devotion to Sri Krishna, replete with knowledge, realization, and detachment. He cut asunder the conceptions of those who were proud of their materialistic learning and firmly established the conception of devotion to Sri Krishna through his 6 Sandarbhas. Furthermore, so that students would not go down the wrong path and instead follow the path of pure devotion from the start of their education And so that they would be engaged in chanting the names of the Lord at every moment, he wrote Sri Harinamrita Vyakaran and started a new era even in the world of grammar. His style and endeavors were like those of a prince. To follow and please his gurus, he would go out and spend his days and nights at the base of a tree. Yet the expression that is seen in this world of his tremendous prosperity to engage in the service of Sri Sri Radha Govinda is extremely rare. Through his conduct, the position of being a prideless, respectful, surrendered servant of the Vaishnavas has been established throughout the world in a highly revered form. And he goes on to say many things, but I thought that was a nice, little capsule about Srila Jiva Goswami. And then I found an interesting thing, which I didn't know, that when Baladev Vijayabhushan went to conquer the Sri Sampradaya, the devotees there, and
defend, Kelly.
Huh?
He didn't go to conquer. He went to defend the Gaudiya line.
Yes, right. Good. And anyway, so then he wrote the Govinda Basya. It was written through him. At the start, he wrote Pranam mantra to Jiva Goswami. And he says about Jiva Goswami that he established in this world what was written in the Brahma Samhita. Like what was previously not understood and known and supported in this world, like that was contained in the Brahma Samhita, he established that here in this world, which I hadn't heard before.
Yeah, that's
And
the
it's
reference to Satsandarbhs of Jiva Goswami. He's very scientifically establishing what is giving in Brahma Samhita, which is, what is giving there is Krishna, his dham, his qualities, his associates, his everything. So he established that work, Satsandarbhas. And when he's contemplating about Vedanta Sutra commentaries, he says in his prayers, Baladev Vijayabhushan, that I offer my respectful obeisances to Srila Jiva Goswami, by whose grace I was able to do that. And practically, even though it is, we can say, dictated by Govinda, the basis for that were actually the work of Srila Jiva Goswami. In that connection, I think it is mentioned. And also we can see how they're related. So Srila Jiva Goswami, he's the Rakak, he's the protector of the Sampradaya, protector of the prestige of the line, protector of the prestige of the Guru Varga too, as we saw in two cases when Rupa Goswami, well, it wasn't attacked, but Vallabhacharya did commented something about his qualification as a Sanskritan, about his composition. So young Jiva went into a certain, defensive debate with him on the bank of the river, which caused his exile because Rupa Goswami did not approve that. And then later on, he was rectified through the agencies of Sanatana Goswami, who quoted that he asked him a simple question: what are the main principles you have learned from Mahaprabhu? And then Rupa Goswami is answering, Jividoya, Namiruchi, Vaishnavasima. He says, yes, Jividoya. And I know one Jiva that is devoid of your Doya. Then how come you're saying that you're practicing it, but you're not giving your mercy to that Jiva? Anyway, he was rectified. Second time, this Digvijay Pandit came. And it is also important point Govinda Maharaj was making it. When Rupa and Sanatan were challenged, it was kind of offensive to them, but they didn't take the offense. They just said, okay, I will sign whatever, just basically let us be. But when Jiva Goswami heard about that, how the offenses were made towards the lotus feet of Rupa and Sanatan, he couldn't tolerate that. In fact, it would have been almost better for the Digvijay just say, hey, Jiva, I'm challenging you. He would probably say, well, okay, here's your signature, go away. But he said, no, look, Rup Sanatan already signed the papers, and that was it. Because he couldn't tolerate it. He couldn't tolerate that offense, so he responded and completely crushed his pride. And to his good fortune, I mean, he accepted the Lotus Srila Jiva Goswami, became his follower. So Gurudev once said that we shouldn't be silent when Vaishnavas are offended, when they're under attack. When we are under attack, we can be humble and tolerant. But when the Vaishnavas are attacked, it's our duty to respond and our duty to uphold the prestige of the line of the Sampradaya. Something I wanted to add. And of course, Guru Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj, they quote a lot of verses from that scripture, Satsandarbhas of Srila Jiva Goswami. Sorry, Maharaj, you were saying something.
Not any longer. I've been floating in the Harikatha of Jiva Goswami, and so whatever little bit I had, no, that passed by. And a very good, oh yes, what I was going to say was a very good discovery or remind that the section from the Prema Dharma website that Kelly Kadamba quoted just now. We've read these things before, and now to hear them again, we need to hear them again and again. I was looking to see whether Sevarupa had found the URL. She's often got the URL for us. No, she's shaking her head. No. We will find it presently, no doubt. Or we'll get the doya of Kalika number and she'll send the link, put the link in the chat box. Hare Krishna. Vrindavaneshri Diri, it's late at night, you're with us. Would you like to share just a little something? 2024 has passed, 2025 has come. And we're all remembering you all down, not down there next door in Brazil. You're in the forefront of our thoughts in the recent days, always, but in recent days too. How can we serve?
Everybody, Dhanavats Gurudev. Well, I can say something that is my choose. I always want to pick up particular a special book to start the year, and so I bought from Lila Moy Prabhu the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata. So this is gonna be my next book from this year. So thank you, Lila Moy. I'm taking care of your books.
Okay, excellent. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think we're around Adi Leela chapter 10, and at the beginning of that chapter, or maybe 9, anyway, around there, then Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is giving so much glorification to Chaitanya Bhagavat and to Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. I mean, with absolute humility, then Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is giving all honor there. And until the Chaitanya Charitamrita was manifested, it was that Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, which was the life and soul of the devotees. And still, after the manifestation of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj repeatedly referring the readers to go to Chaitanya Bhagavat, and there Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has elaborately described this Leela, this pastime, and he's saying, I won't repeat what he's given, because first maybe seen as audacity to repeat what has already been said, but it'll also make the Chaitanya Charitamrita very long. And remember too that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, he was very aged when he was writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. And so he wrote it knowing very well what has been given already by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So in our lives to read Chaitanya Bhagavat, that is also very good for us. And especially those parts that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is referring to us to. So they go hand in hand. Well done. And there are some wonderful, obviously, okay, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj has glorified the book so much, but we have to say when we read it also, there are some wonderful descriptions and pastimes which are given in much more detail there, including the very famous pastimes of Jagai and Madai, etc. There's more detail, as Krishnadas Kaviraj says, already so beautifully described, and not just beautifully, but with the Vaishnava author, Vaishnava presentation, even says that he is the Vyas of Chaitanya Leela. That's how Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj refers to Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. And as Gurudev points out, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he says that the Vyas of Chaitanya Leela will appear in the future. And that referring, as our masters have shown, to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj's appearance and his giving of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So they are both giving honor to each other, to what is being presented through them. So yes, at the beginning of the new year, and good to begin a new book. By coincidence, rather than anything else, I think. But we've been thinking we need to go through the Brahma Sanghita again with the devotees, like in the temple room. And so we've been reciting Brahma Samhita, and very, very happily with the devotees here in the morning. And so that will continue. All right, dear devotees, Happy New Year. And whatever that quote was, I put in the chat box at the beginning. Our one line. What was that one line? Oh, Srila Guru Maharaj saying, adjustment is life. It is liberated life. And to be the prey of maladjustment is to approach pain and misery. So we wish you all a happy new year of proper adjustment, not for the future, but for the present. So not later in the year. May all of your new year be properly adjusted. 2025, 365 days a year, festival. Every day is a festival in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati, all who participate. So let us all be participants, from waking in the morning to sleeping at night. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Jai, wonderful Srila Gurudev ki Jai, wonderful Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, wonderful Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, and wonderful grand Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Our Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Jai Srila Jiva Goswami ki Jai. Srila Jagadish Pandit ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki Jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Shri Prapana Jivanamritam ki Jai. All the assembled devotees on Zoom, on Facebook, and who are seeing the recorded versions. The Jais to you all. And jais to our Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda, the present day Acharyas of the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming through Srila Saraswati. So all of them, ki jai. And to Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda, unlimited devotees everywhere, ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namo.
Jai Shila Bhaktiranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Shanti, 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 Om, Govinda, Govinda. All right, dear devotees, see you all soon. Have special days till we meet again, and have special days throughout the year. Govinda, Govinda, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Ami Ashchi.